Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start our second session on organization behavior, and we'll go through LO2, and we are doing ATHE level 7 diploma and leadership and management. So today lesson will be focused on LO2, and my name is Anjum Sattar. Those are listening this recording, please, if you have any questions, just drop me email on my email address anjum@ukversity.co.uk, and I'll try my best to get you back as soon as possible. And today lesson will go through LO2. So before starting our today lesson, I'll recap what we learned during our previous lessons. So lesson 1, we learn about and we discuss LO1. LO1 was understanding leadership behavior theories and practice. We discussed different leadership behavior theories, analyze the theories relating to the work relationship, and those we discussed during our first lesson, where we discussed what is the difference between leadership and management. We discuss leader, anybody who can influence others can leaders. We discuss contingency theories. We discuss, trade theories. We discuss situational theories. All those theories we discussed during our lesson 1. So lesson 2 today will focus our LO2, which is learning outcome to understand how organization structure, culture impact on effectiveness of organization. Organization is what is the definition of organization? Organization is artificial person. They should treat other people equally, and artificial because it's not a person, it's an artificial person. So we need to look around. So today lesson will discuss about organization structures. We'll go through different sort of organization structure. We'll discuss key focus will be on various types of organization, centralized, decentralized, organization culture, what is meant by cultures, what is meant by norms, values, and culture. And we'll go through bureaucracy, how structure and culture impact on the effectiveness of organization. Leaders as a change agent, or leader can change, and we'll discuss some about the change management role in our organization. If you're changing the structure, it means the change need to be place. Change need to be continued, different model of change we can discuss as well. So today lesson will be focused on more about the organization structure. So we'll start LO2, which is learning outcome 2, and what we're supposed to be learn. I just copy the buzzwords, the keywords really will need to be learned under this LO2. So anybody any question? So what do we know about organization structure? Anybody any thought about organization structure? What do we know about organization structure? So organization structures, the way in which the organization is organized as a direct effect is competitiveness. So for the business, hi Deepak, welcome back. So organization structure. So structure, organization structures play the significant role in the effectiveness and the competitiveness in our organization. For a business to achieve its aims and objective, aims what you will do, objective what you will achieve. So aims, what we will do, and objective, end of the activity, the end result, what we will achieve is called objective. We said earlier, objective need to be smart, objective need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time defined. So it need to organize its people in the suitable ways that is known as the organization structure. The structure of a business is important because it determines the authority and responsibility. So in the organization structure, who is responsible for whom and who is is in charge for it. So that's why when organization structure represent organization culture as well. So individual jobs, roles, and titles, the people to whom others are accountable. That's the organization structure as well. So that's why in our organizations, we always set SOPs. SOPs is standard operating procedures. Those are in place. That's why nowadays is becoming responsibility accounting is quite popular. So responsibility accounting. So you've been given the budget and you will be accountable.
Yes.
So that's why responsibility accounting is very, very important concept now. So we need to, in our organization, responsibility accounting is in place as well. So you've been given the role, you've been given the power, you've been given the authority, but you're responsible, you not misuse the power, because some organizations, the people misuse their power. So that's why the compliance procedures need to be in place for accountability as well. So the formal roots within communication flow, the business structure of the organization. The one way to think the organization structure is an explanation of the command and control system in our organization. So organization structure is a command and control. So what's the, because if your command and control, who's responsible for what? Never pass the change of command. I can't really quick go to the CEO, any my problem. I should follow the chain of command. So the structure of the organization business depend on the several factors. So first factor is the size of the small organization tend to be have informal or the flat hierarchical structure. Business larger or the more complex business develop more complicated and detailed structures involve more layers and more function and more department in our organization. Type, does the business operate from just one or the several locations? Then maybe you need a area managers, you need country managers, or different location and different zone in the world or the continent. So we can operate like a Unilever, the Unilever manager for Asia, Asian operation. That can be. So we can look around the business in the service or the manufacturing sector. Does it have overseas operations or outsource the significant business activity? Workforce, mainly unskilled, semi-skilled, or highly skilled. So we can delegate people, those have a highly skilled and they can be responsible. Management often overlooked, but is very important. So leadership style often result in a very difficult structure compared with one design by leaders who prefer to delegate the responsibility. Some they don't prefer to delegate the responsibilities. So organization structure often influence and changed by the development competitive market. If the competitive market change, maybe you need to change the organization structure. Structure not a constant. Like Unilever used to be 550 brands. They have divest, so they reduced the brand from 550 to around 300. So 200 plus brand they phased out. They sold it because those were, and the organization structure, if we used to be every product, every brand managers, of course we are reducing the brand, we need to change the organization structure.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, so next we're looking the internal organization firm. In small firm, each worker may be undertake a range of roles. The structure may be informal, fluid. As a firm grow bigger, the role and responsibility as each worker become clearer and the more formal structure, not informal.
Okay.
So then we have a functional area we call organization. All the department is known as a functional area. The main function areas in the organization: finance, human resource, sales, marketing, and production. These are all called the organization structure. We call the organization chart. We can represent the roles and the line of responsibility within hierarchy, and organization structure is the layer with those at the top having authority than the worker in the lower level.
Yes.
So organization structure can be look like this way as well. The board of directors, then we have different managers or directors, Then we have factory workers. So more will going downward is called operational managers. With delegating power, it depends upon the organization size as well. Organization structure, span of control, the number of worker one manager directly responsible, that's called span of control. If you have many workers, your span of control can be bigger or larger. So we need to be decent span of control. Not one manager is responsible for 10,000 workers. So because we need to be give clearly, because the span of control need to be reasonable. Change of command, the line down with the instructions are passed through the layers in our hierarchy. So we need to make sure tall structure when the organization, different types of structure, tall organization, these have many layers and the small span of control. And the characteristic of the tall, high level of control appropriate for the unskilled workers. More opportunity for promotions can be in an organization. Poor communication as information is to pass through many layers. When we have a communication, if I'll say pass message to you, you pass message to someone else. If we have, then what will be happen? The message actual meaning may be changed. So more organizations in the communication maybe not stay that effective. So that is a tall organization. Then we look the flat organization. Flat organization, few layers, large span of control can be in our organization. And characteristic of flat organization can be low level of control, suitable for skilled, experienced and motivated workers. Better communication and managers must delegate work due to the large span of control and motivating employees. Any question?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, brilliant. Delayering. What is meant by delayering? Delayering involving removing one or more layer of middle managers, because we are going to make redundant people, because we want to be right sized. Some people say downsizing. Downsizing means the right sizing. Because the size of the organization, maybe we have auto technology is changed. We need less human being now, because the technology is control humans and the operations. So we can delegate and we can reduce the layers. So delayering can be cut the cost of the paying many managers, improve the communication, empower remaining workers if they are given the extra responsibility, result in the loss of experience, and skilled workers can be costly initially in terms of redundant pay, because in the UK we have a redundancy law. If you make somebody redundant, you should pay the salary according to their age. So every year of completion of service, you should pay 1 week. You should pay 1 week basic wage. So if somebody worked 10 years in the company, so 10 years, 1 week every year, 1 week times 10 weeks in a year, yes, and then times by factor. If anybody is above than 40, we can times by 3, because anybody becoming older have a less chance to get the job.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Yes.
So that's why we call redundant rules and redundant under the employment law. So we need to, when we make the people redundant, or we want to be set the organization or restructuring, we need to consider the cost as well, the restructuring cost.
Okay.
So that's delayering we need to keep in mind. So next we have a matrix structure, matrix organization structure. Matrix structure use the project-based approach to the organization design. Think about BP or various other Shell or various other fuel companies. They have different projects. The organization structures stay the same. We can say project A, project B, project C. Yes, but HR is there, marketing is there, all other. But you can be a project manager for the A project or B when we'll finish. Like in a construction company, that is metric type of organization structure.
Yes.
Team run along the side, traditional functional structure is there, but we can different, that's your project A, project B, project C teams. Yes,
Yes.
all organization structures stay the same. When one project finishes and you can become a second project manager. Are you new task?
Okay.
Project mean is a task. Yes, any
Yes.
task can be a project.
Yes. Okay.
Then metric types of organization structure have some advantages, some drawback. Advantages of this: staff from all department can work on the project, leading to the quick decision making. Worker may be able to be better use their skills and abilities. Drawback is split loyalties. I'm not loyal because I'm working on the project A, project B, and project C. I'm look after HR for the project A, project B, so I'm not loyal with everyone. So the loyalty can be split into different, yes.
Different. Yes, it's true.
So administration of metrics management is quite expensive as well. So that's one other drawback. Then we can look around the centralized and decentralized. Centralization authority of the decision making remain with the senior managers. Like in
Mm-hmm.
some cultures, they don't want to delegate the power. They say
Okay.
we want to keep it because we want to see we are managers, we manage. So benefit of the centralization, firm can be benefit from the economies of scale. Yes, whatever you want,
Yes.
you can get a quick decision. Ensure the activity throughout the business fit with the organization objective. Quick decision can be made by the managers who are skilled at the decision making. But the drawback, local differences may not be undertaken into account. We want more because we have an inflation, currency exchange, the currency is devalued, and we want more money because we require more budget. But actually, the
Yes.
decision is centralized, they're not aware of the local. So that's why we use the term think globally, act locally.
Yes.
So act locally is very crucial in terms of. So employees
Okay.
cannot use their knowledge of working at the coalface and the workers may become demotivated sometimes due to centralization. What's the point? The rim of paper we need for the printing and I need to get the permission from my head office. Is a
Mm-hmm.
centralized. Yes, so we don't
Yes.
that demotivate as well. That can be time consuming and it maybe we not achieve our organization objective.
Yes.
Then it's
That's. Yes.
any question, Deepak?
No. No. It's fine. Yes.
Okay, then next
Okay.
can be structure decentralization. Authority for decision making is delegated down to the hierarchy. We can look around decentralized have own advantages and disadvantages as well. Staff are empowered to make decisions, which may be motivating. Local condition can be considered when making a decision. The experience of all the workers is utilized.
Yeah. That's
Drawback of
good.
decentralized is a consistent corporate message may not be delivered because decentralized, we centralize mean we are giving the one message to everyone. Maybe that create a problem as well. Fewer chance of benefit from economies of scale because that's not an economies of scale. We want to decrease the cost. We want to improve the productivity, but we have so many managers and they have so many conflicts.
Yes.
So the worker down the hierarchy may be less skilled at the decision making purposes.
And some
So
and some can some can misuse the authority as well, and that can harm the company.
yes, so that create a problem.
Yes.
Then can be flexible workforce. Flexibility can be achieved using the core and of course, your workers. So core workers usually the full-time permanent know the firm well and typical managers are specialists. Some workers can be only those are temporary workers. Yes,
Yes.
we do the daily basis and they do not understand. Outsourcing business functions are provided by other specialist organizations like cleaning firm, they do the cleaning, maybe more cost effective than the carrying out the function in house.
Yes.
Home working implies work from home, usually rely on we have in the UK it's called flexible working hours. If as an organization we have an opportunity, we running in the shift and worker have a right to ask, please put me the night shift, day shift, if the business is viable to do so.
Yes.
So under the employment law, if the employer don't put them and discriminate them, that case can goes to the employment tribunal and can be fined to firms.
Yes.
So that is called flexible working hour rights of employees.
Okay.
So this is carry on happening here. Next we have a culture. Cultures mean the norms and value. Every organization have its own culture. In the UK, one of the organization called Morrison, that's been British company. They have around 400 stores now, 400
Okay.
supermarkets. So
Okay.
like Asda and Walmart, they are competitors of Morrison and Tesco
Okay.
in the Middle East as well. So
Yes.
these are all supermarkets. So if in the past Morrison took over 250 stores of one of the other supermarket that's called Safeway, and they paid good uh, around 500 million, but
Mm-hmm.
they not managed to convert all the stores according to their own cultures.
Okay.
So because to conversion cost is a higher because every organization have its own culture. Every
Yes.
organization, its workers, they are set with the culture. When you change them, they can demotivate and the productivity can create a problem. Or it can be conflict because maybe we heard about the
Mm-hmm.
parent company who own the other companies more than 50% shares. If
Yes.
you own, if you own the shares of other companies more than 50%, you're the parent. Another is called subsidiary.
Yes. Absolutely.
So if you own the shares between 20 to 49% in other organization, 50% okay, 49% in other organization, that's called associate. So you have
Okay.
an associate company. If you have a more than 50, you call subsidiary. You can change their management. You can influence another. So if you're taking the shares more than 50%, actually you're the parent. Now your organization culture will be dominant another.
Okay.
So associate, you don't have a fully control on it, but you have a significant influence on it. That's it called
Yes.
associate company. If you have a share less than 20%, we call simple investment you have in the company.
Mm-hmm.
We not call any subsidiary or associate. We can say you have an investment in other company that's called associate company. Yes.
Yes.
Any question?
No, no, it's fine.
Okay. Then the culture type of business culture can be power culture. Power is held
Okay.
by the small number of people. Swift decisions are made. That's the power culture. Then you have a role culture. Highly structured and defined role may be the bureaucratic and the lack of creativity. That can be role culture.
Yes.
Task culture based on the team working within a group set up by the particular task for the particular task and can be responding quickly to changing environment. That's the task culture. Personal
Okay.
culture, trained workers are given the freedom to share the knowledge and expertise. That's it called personal culture we have.
Yes. Okay.
Entrepreneurial culture encourage the risk taking and creativity. We encourage people to make a decisions, yes,
Yes, it's true.
and that's it called we and failure is often acceptable and learned from. So that's is different types of business cultures can be power culture, role culture, task culture, personal cultures. So these are type of cultures can be in an organization.
True.
Okay, then we have an importance of team. Team can increase the productivity, encourage the innovation, and improve the employees' commitment. So always we need to look around in our organization, more motivation, increase quality, and lower absentees. So we need to look around the formal and informal team. Formal teams, we have a group definition is don't have a proper structures, and the team have a clear goal, clear objective, clear yes responsibilities. So we call the
True.
team. So or in
True.
our organization structure, we can make the teams and we can select the team manager, a team leader. The characteristic of effective team. If effective teams are the likely to display the following: clear and shared goal, defined roles, open and honest communication, mutual trust, effective decision making, balanced participation, leadership, cooperation, and way to managing conflict. Because always we have in a team conflict, we need to be manage the conflict. So the conflict management is a separate subject. How we can manage the conflict at the organization. So always in our organization, we need to understand the politics of organizations. Because we need to be is a human being. We need to understand what their cultures are, where they belong. If we understand the culture, if we talk in their culture according to their values, that is easy to be remove the conflicts.
True.
So in the corporate world, we carry on doing to remove the conflict.
Okay. That's
okay. Good. So next we looking the effectiveness of team can be depend upon the skills and ability of the team member, the size, group, and the task will undertaken.
Yes.
So then we can look around the characteristic of the effective. Oh, sorry, we discussed. I'm moving backward.
Is it backward?
Okay. So Belbian is one of the great scholar in the UK. He just the team roles can be defined into different categories. We can categorize the team role. Team can be plant, creative problem solver. Team can be source invigilator, quite enthusiastic. Team can be coordinator, mature, and the good delegator. Team can be sharper, dynamic, is carry on changing according to the environment, monitor and evaluator, strategic thinker. Team workers can be cooperative and calming. Team can be implementer, reliable and efficient. Team can be completer, is conscientious, perfection, and teams can be specialists, provide knowledge and skills. So different roles can be. Some teams can be specialist teams. Some teams you can say plant, those are create problem solver. So in the organization, in the team, your roles can be, you can be a plant, you can be resource invigilator, you can be coordinator, you can be shopper, you can be monitor or evaluator, you can be team worker, you can be implementer, or completer, or you can be a specialist.
True. Exactly.
Okay, so next our area of discussion is the stakeholders. Because the stakeholders, anybody who has any interest in the business is called stakeholders.
Can be anyone. Employee, customers, owners. Yes?
Yes. So anybody, their life will be influenced by the action of the company is a stakeholder. The generation will come after us are the stakeholders as well.
Yeah.
The birds and the trees and all those are the stakeholders as well. We can destroy their interest.
Yes, society.
So we need to look around those. So shareholders are investors, the stakeholders. Shareholders can be stakeholders, but not all stakeholders are shareholders.
Yes.
So
true.
Stakeholder theory, we can look around. Always we're looking the shared value perspective. Shareholders, we always try to maximize their return. But we need to be balance the interest of other stakeholders as well. Why stakeholder analysis is very, very important in our organization. So when you make the organization structure, you need to be look around the stakeholder interest and you need to be focused and you need to work towards meeting the stakeholder need. Different people have a different need, different stakeholders, and we need to make sure we'll meet them. Stakeholders, like we mentioned, owner, stock, bank, creditors, partners, buyer, employees, government, NGOs, all these are the stakeholders. They have interest in the business.
Yes.
We can categorize them stakeholder internal and external. Internal within our organization, external those are outsider. Internal can be employees and management. Outsider can be government, trade association. So we can categorize what are the internal and external stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Earlier we said internal and external stakeholders. We're not really doing activity here, but we can, why stakeholders are important. who are the stakeholders of your organization. So we can spend the time, we can look around when we'll make the decision as the leaders. We need to make sure we understand who they are, because otherwise this depend in different country, different cultures. Like here in the UK, not student union is very strong. Yes,
Yes,
and
true,
if
true.
you're a member, you
You know,
can, and you
France as
and
well.
if is in our organization union, if the manager say you're a union member, we want to punish you, it's an illegal activity and that can be challenged.
Exactly, true.
So we can categorize to stakeholder primary and secondary. The stakeholder, those are directly affected by decision, is called primary stakeholder. Secondary stakeholder, though not directly but indirectly will be affected, so that's called secondary. Most significant affected stakeholder with the most influence from each other. So organization, we can look at the strategic clients, shareholders, strategic partner and employees, and we can look around the secondary, can be all others. Yes, competitors, suppliers, government.
Yes.
Stakeholder analysis, we can identify all stakeholders. Brainstorming, yes, we need to divide them into groups. Identify the stakeholder and the needs and the interests. Classify the group interests of the stakeholder to map them. Identify the area of conflict in our organization with the stakeholder. You need to prioritize, you need to reconcile, you need to balance in line significant stakeholder needs and the business organization strategies. If you're making strategies, those are conflict, with the stakeholder interest, that create a problem for our organization. Stakeholder analysis metrics, we can list them, what their interests are, assessment, what impact will be, what potential strategies we can use to minimize the impact.
Okay.
And stakeholder analysis, get to the know stakeholders better, relatively important power and interest. Some stakeholders have a more power, some have more interest. Better management relation risk we can identify, and we can use advantages, disadvantages. This video we can copy and we can look around stakeholders. I copied maybe more slide in my PowerPoint, but different models I copied. So we can use the power and interest metric Gardner gave us. We can say minimum effort required some stakeholder to satisfy them, keep satisfy them, keep inform them, key players. Yes, they have a high power, high interest. Some have a low interest, high power. Some have a high interest, high power.
Yeah.
So we can categorize them and we can list them and we can make the organization strategy. Some power, legitimate power are urgent. So power, the stakeholder to influence the organization, legitimacy, the relationship in terms of desirability and appropriateness, and urgency, expectation of the stakeholder in terms of the critical and time sensitive, some stakeholders. So we need to be balance them. Yes, so some can be latent stakeholders. We can subdivide dominant, some expectant, some definitive stakeholders, and we balance their interests. Then we balance their conflict, and we always try our best to be minimize the conflict in. We can list them, the different stakeholders and what sort of the conflict they have, and that's to address different conflict. Then we have a change management. We have sometime is we have in a question, what is meant by the change agent. So it's good to be know the change, strategic change. So if you're changing the organization structure, it can be change, but the change can be force for change and the driving force for change. Some forces can be resistant to change and restrained to forces. So we need to be, according to this model, we need to be look around, we need to identify what are the forces. Those are, according to this model is given by the Levin. He identifies some forces can be forces for change and some forces can be against the change.
Okay.
They don't like change. If you change the shift pattern, some say, oh, that's fine. Yes. Some say, no, we are against it. we'll go for strike. Yes. So
Yes,
you need to be identify. So Levin analysis can be used investigating the balance of power, identify the issue, key stakeholder issue, identify the opponent, analyze. We need to look around what are the forces, those. Yes, steps, make the radical change, minimize the disruption, and we need. He said no, we can say unfreeze, change, and freeze. Yes, some high, we can prioritize them. So unfreeze, change, and freeze. Unfreeze is preparing people for change. Unfreeze them, yes, and then make the change. And then rephrase, embedding the change.
Yes.
Then overcome the resistance of change. If we have some people don't want to be changed, how we can overcome? Yes, job factor, maybe fear of technology, unemployment, social factors, the personal factor. That's why the people are against. So we need to address them. We need to explain. Leadership style that can create problems. So we need to adopt the right leadership style to implement the change.
Yeah.
Okay. Then according to Cotter, he identified the 8 steps the change process. Establish the sense of urgency, forming a power, guiding, and create a vision in our organization, communicating a vision, empowering others, plan for creating short-term wins, consolidation and improvement, and then we can look at individual resistant change. Some people as a habitually, they don't want to change. Organization resistant to change, some environmental, then of course structure can be in lack of the bad leadership, lack of preparation, new role, and the cultural issue that create a problem. Some type of change can be incremental or big bang, realignment, adaptation, or reconstruction, evaluation, or reevaluation. Transformational, yes, different leadership style. We can look around. Some leaders really want to make a change. Yes.
Yes, true.
So thus we can look around in terms of strategic change in the long term. What effect will be? Different theories. We have great man theory, trade theory, behaviorist theory. We discussed it. Situational, contingency, transactional, and transformational. Yes, we can use these. A different style we can. It can be, yes, intervention, participation, and caution. So I included few extra slides for sake of.
Thank you.
We don't go through all, but we high burst hygiene factor, which we discussed during lesson 1 as well. Yes.
Yes, true. Yes.
And middle level and the change agent. Actually, we have a keyword in our the inductive contents is a change. So the change agent is mean internal or external. The change agent is a central to the process and usually helping the organization define the problem and its cause, dispose the solution, and select the appropriate course of action and implement the change and transmit the learning, process others, and organize. So that's all about. Then we can leadership skills is required to implement the change. So is skills are all these set of the skills need a communication skill, environmental skill, learning and prospective skills. All these need to be in a leader, in a managers to implement the change in our organization, because managers is agent for the shareholders. Director is agent as well. Yes, they are working on the behalf of. So they can implement the change, and the AGM we can pass something and they can implement the change.
Yes.
Okay. Any question?
That's fine. Very good. I will just go through the slides later and then definitely I will understand more. Okay?
Brilliant. So this you can copy the link and you can play with the quiz. This is all about the organization structure.
No problem. I will do it. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, but my slides. You can remove the slide, but I just copied. We not went through all it, but those are.
I will just follow this assignment. This one, though we have a learning the learning this one. Then I will just read that one only. I know it's really vast.
These are the key things, and we need clearly. I copied more change model as well. but leader as a change agent. Yes, that's the key word.
Exactly. True. Exactly. Yes.
So that's we need to. And today lesson we discuss about LO2, and LO2 was all about
Yes.
organization structure, stakeholders. We discuss different types of organization structures. Yes,
Yeah.
power and roles
Yes.
and all we discuss, and
Yeah. True.
structures, effectiveness, and the leader and the agent. So key topic: organization structure, stakeholders,
What?
and
Okay.
then we need cultures. So these are
Sure.
the key things in all will be addressed. Any
Okay.
question?
No, it's fine. Thank you.
So
Okay, it's
welcome. So
fine.
today lesson we discuss about organization structure, tall structure, centralized, decentralized, flat structure, and
Yes.
what is meant by chain of command, span of control.
Matrix. Yes.
So all this, and we try to relate our discussion how
Yes.
organization and how cultures can be, and the stakeholder and how we can map.
Yeah. True.
So that's all today, and hope so. We'll speak you next week with LO3, and we'll go
Sure.
through LO3. In the meanwhile, you carry on. What I'll do, I'll upload things, and in
Sure.
case when you write your assignment, if you have any questions, so please ask me. I'll go through
Sure.
things.
Sure. Thank you. Sure. I will do it. Okay.
Okay,
Thank.
brilliant, Deepak.
Thank,
Have a nice weekend if you're
thank you.
in, and have a nice
Yeah.
day.
Tomorrow. Today is the last day of weekend. I think the UK tomorrow is